Most Ford owners never touch the best features sitting right under their noses, built in to save your battery, make parking effortless, and even turn your truck into a mobile generator. No upgrades, no extra cost. You know those big rear seats in your Ford F-150? Most owners never even lift them up to see what's hiding underneath. And that's a shame. There's serious storage potential right under your rear seat, perfect for tools, paperwork, jumper cables, and other stuff you hate seeing rolling around the cab. On many F-150s, from early crew cabs to modern Super Crews, you can add or find lockable under-seat storage bins that tuck neatly out of sight when the seat's down. Factory-installed bins are typically durable plastic or composite, but you can also get robust aftermarket options, including welded steel lock boxes that bolt into factory mounting points and even lock, keeping valuables out of sight and relatively secure. So if you've ever wondered, where am I going to put all this junk? This is the spot. When many of my customers find this bin, they start tossing all sorts of things like tow straps, blankets, first aid kits, or even firearms and gear under the back seat. One F-150 owner kept a rain jacket, straps, snacks, and a full roadside kit under the seat. This is all stuff that otherwise would have been loose or shoved behind the seat and forgotten. If your Ford doesn't have a factory-fit underseat bin, you can also get an aftermarket bin. Best part? It's cheap and easy to install, and you'll wonder why you didn't use that space years ago. Meanwhile, you might not even realize that your tailgate also has a lot of features you never noticed. This one matters more than people realize. Most owners don't notice how much thought Ford puts into the tailgate on an F-150. It's not just drop it and go anymore. There are so many hidden features owners never use that make life a whole lot easier when you're hauling gear, loading lumber, or setting up for a job site. One of the most appreciated bits is the built-in tailgate step with grab handle. This thing folds out from the tailgate and gives you a solid step and hand support so you don't have to strain or climb awkwardly onto the bed. Especially helpful when you're loaded down with tools or gear. The handle pops up and locks so you can get in and out safely without slipping. And when you're done, you just stow it back in the tailgate. It's simple, but once you've used it a few times, you wish you knew about it sooner. Then Ford took it further with the additional Pro Access tailgate on newer high-trim F-150s. Instead of just folding down, a middle section swings open like a door, letting you reach in without leaning over or crawling onto the bed. That's massive if you're snagging tools or hardware behind a trailer hitch or in tight spaces, especially on job sites. The door can hold at several angles so it doesn't smash into a jack or your trailer equipment. It literally puts about 19 inches of cargo closer to your hands compared to the old-school tailgate. And don't overlook the tailgate work surface. It's a handy built-in desk area with rulers, clamp pockets, cup holders, and even spots to hold a phone or tablet. It's perfect for marking lumber, setting up a cut list, or just resting your coffee while you sort out gear. Many Ford owners visit a mechanic for unrelated stuff and then say, "I had no idea this thing did all that." But once they know, it changes how they use their truck every day. Even your Ford's liftgate has some hidden features you might have never noticed. Hey, I'm RJ. I've been wrenching on Fords for 20+ years, everything from simple Rangers to tricked out F-150s. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that your truck or SUV probably knows more tricks than you do. I've seen customers miss features that save gas, add convenience, and prevent problems simply because nobody ever pointed them out. Join me as I share hidden Ford features most owners never find. These are the stuff that helps you get more miles, avoid annoying issues, and enjoy your ride more without spending a dime extra. Let's continue. Most owners don't believe this until they see it. Walking up to your Ford SUV or crossover with groceries, a dog leash, and a toddler seat is exactly why the hands-free power liftgate exists. On equipped Fords like the Explorer and Escape, you can kick your foot under the rear bumper with the key fob nearby, and the liftgate will open or close without you touching a thing. This is super handy when your arms are full. It works with sensors in the rear bumper that detect a kicking motion and sends a signal to open the gate automatically. Another quiet gem most owners don't tap into is adjustable liftgate height. You can program the liftgate to open just as high as you want. This is pretty useful if you park in a low-ceiling garage or under a carport. Open the liftgate manually to your desired height, hold the button until you hear the confirmation tone, and it'll remember that position every time. That means no more scraping the liftgate on your garage roof or shimmying around to close it. Ford owners easily feel frustrated when their liftgate keeps smacking a low overhang or they struggle to open it with groceries dangling from both hands. But you can also disable it whenever you want, especially if you have your Ford in a tight garage. Not every Ford has them, but if your Ford does, using them can make everyday life easier. But the next feature is one that most owners don't even believe until they see it. Have you noticed how most Fords today don't even have a gas cap? That's because of Ford's Easy Fuel capless fuel filler, a smart bit of engineering that makes topping up way easier. Instead of twisting a cap on and off every time you fill up, you just push the pump nozzle in and the spring-loaded flaps open and close automatically. When you're done, the flap snaps shut on its own, sealing the tank and helping keep fuel vapors from escaping. It also deters misfueling and makes siphoning fuel harder. So there's a tiny bit of theft protection built into the design too. This is one of those little features that feels like magic once you get used to it. No more fiddling with a cap that falls on the ground or ends up in the trunk forever. That said, these systems aren't perfect. This is where problems start. Dirt and debris can build up around the flaps over time, especially if you drive on dusty roads or off-road. And that can prevent the fuel door from sealing tightly or accepting the nozzle smoothly. When that happens, you might hear that annoying evap leak code or find the pump clicking off early. F-150 and Explorer owners are often baffled by a quick check engine light after a fill-up. Turns out there was a bit of grime keeping the flap from sealing tight. Clean it out with a funnel and most of the time it's back to normal. But even if you know about the Easy Fuel, the next one catches most people off guard as they have no idea about it. One of those little Ford features most owners never use properly is Remote Start, which allows you to fire up your engine before you even get to the truck. You can hit the button on your key fob or use the FordPass app on your phone to start your vehicle from across the driveway or across town. That's especially nice on hot days to cool the cabin or on cold mornings to melt the ice off the windshield before you walk out the door. Remote Start works on automatic transmission Fords equipped with this function and lets the engine run for a set time, usually 5, 10, or 15 minutes. After that, it shuts off automatically. The convenience is legit. Many Ford owners climb into a pre-cooled F-150 after a summer workout or have their Bronco Sport warmed up and ready in the winter with zero scraping. It's one of those little things that feels great once you start using it. And with FordPass, you can even schedule remote starts in advance or kick it off from a smartwatch or phone, which is pretty handy if you're on the go. But before you get too excited, there are a few quirks you should know about. Many of my customers have come in because the remote start acts up or doesn't work consistently. The FordPass app won't fire it remotely unless the phone has a good connection or the system is properly paired. And sometimes removing and re-adding the vehicle to the app fixes it. Another issue is the system being finicky in cold weather or not working if the battery is low. So I always tell customers to keep their battery healthy or the entire system won't work right. If you've already learned some shocking Ford features, the next few are ones that most owners might never even find out unless they already know. One of these little hidden Ford things that really comes in handy, especially early in the morning or late at night, is Quiet Start on the Remote Start system. When you remote start your truck or SUV with your key fob or the FordPass app, the blower fan and accessories normally kick on right away, which can make the engine and fan noise louder than you'd expect. With Quiet Start enabled, Ford starts the blower fan and eliminates the horn chirp if the remote start fails, so the whole startup is much quieter and less likely to wake up the neighborhood or your sleeping passengers. You can switch it on or off in the vehicle's info display. And it works with most F-150s, Raptors, Explorers, and other models that have remote start built in. Many Ford owners never realized this setting even existed until someone pointed it out. One of my customers found himself waking the whole house every winter morning with his remote start, not knowing he could tone it down. He'd get jokes from the neighbors about his rooster alarm clock, until he flipped Quiet Start on. Once it's set, the blower spins up gently, the horn stays silent if a start attempt fails, and you still get that warm cab or cool interior without the noise blast. If your truck already has remote start, take a minute to dive into the settings and turn on Quiet Start. While you're looking into your settings, you can also check out the driver profile memory. One of those hidden gems that really makes life easier is driver profile memory. And I don't mean just seat position, I mean the whole comfort setup that your truck remembers for you. On many Fords with memory seats like F-150 Lariats, Platinum trims, Explorers, and others, you can get your driver's seat, power mirrors, steering column, and even power adjustable pedals exactly how you like them and save them to a memory button on the driver's door. Once it's saved, you can recall that setup anytime at the push of a button. If someone else drives your truck, they can have their own memory position too. And here's the cool bonus. You can link those positions to a specific key fob. Don't miss this part. When you unlock the door with your fob, the truck will recognize you and automatically adjust everything to your saved position. There's no need to fiddle with the seats, mirrors, and steering column every time. It's like the truck knows who's driving before you even sit down. One Ford owner revealed he'd been adjusting his seat and mirrors manually for years until he found out his F-150 had memory presets linked to each fob. Once he set it up, his ride was just as the moment he stepped in, and his wife's settings took over automatically when she drove. It's one of those things that doesn't cost a penny but makes daily driving way more comfortable. But keep in mind that many folks come in because of problems with this feature. Sometimes the profiles don't load as expected, especially after software updates or if multiple key fobs are nearby. But as long as it works right, it's pretty convenient. You know, Ford packs more in their trucks and SUVs than most folks ever notice. And a few smart features under the skin help with lighting and airflow in ways that make your ride safer and more efficient without you even thinking about it. One feature you'll see on higher trim F-150s and some SUVs is adaptive or dynamic bending LED headlights. These headlights move with your steering input to better light up corners at night. So when you're on a twisty road or pulling into a driveway after dark, the beam leans into the turn a bit instead of just staring straight ahead. It's subtle, but once you notice it, you'll never want to go back, especially if you do a lot of night driving. Another quiet tech that most owners overlook is the active grille shutters. Instead of a fixed grille, these little flaps open and close automatically depending on radiator and engine cooling needs. At cruising speeds, they close up to reduce aerodynamic drag and improve fuel economy. And when you need extra cooling, like in stop-and-go traffic, they open up to let air flow through. That helps your engine run cooler and can boost efficiency without you having to do a thing. Ford also uses an automatic air dam under the bumper on F-150s that lowers at highway speed to smooth airflow under the truck and cut drag, which can actually shave a little fuel cost over long highway miles. And that adds up more than you'd think over years of driving. Funnily enough, these are the sorts of features most owners never ask about until you point them out. But the next features matter more than most people realize and are also deeply hidden in a Ford. Quick tip. Did you know you can tweak navigation voice volume separately from your media volume? If you're cruising in an F-150 or Explorer with navigation and your music's blaring, you don't need to turn everything up just to hear directions. When a navigation prompt is actively speaking, you can hit the volume wheel or steering wheel button and adjust that prompt volume without changing your overall audio level. Here's something useful but simple. Another neat one people overlook is using accessory mode to play audio without starting the engine. Pop the key to accessory or use the push button without pressing the brake, and you can listen to the radio, podcasts, or Bluetooth music while you're waiting. This is perfect when you're chilling in a parking lot or waiting for someone without burning gas. And for the really curious techies, Ford's Sync system have hidden diagnostic screens and the latest menus you normally don't see. By holding certain button combos, you can pull up things like speaker tests, GPS signal info, and system version details that help you understand what's going on under the hood of your infotainment. This is useful if you're troubleshooting weird quirks like intermittent audio dropouts or navigation issues. Many Ford drivers come into the shop frustrated that their audio or nav seemed off, only to discover a setting buried in the sync menu that fixes it in seconds. These little infotainment hacks won't extend your engine life like a coolant change, but they do make everyday driving easier and more enjoyable. You might not know this, but there are also a couple of hidden features that completely change how you use the trailer with your Ford. When you start towing a trailer with your Ford, the Pro Trailer Back Assist is definitely a game changer, especially if you're struggling to back a big trailer straight into a tight spot. Instead of wrestling the steering wheel while your trailer jackknifes at every turn, you can use a simple knob on your dash to tell the truck where you want the trailer to go. Then the system takes over the steering automatically while you control the brakes and throttle. The way it works is pretty slick. All you have to do is select your trailer on the touchscreen, shift into reverse, then turn the knob in the direction you want the trailer to head, and the truck's computer and electric power steering do the rest. A little line on the display shows your intended path and what the truck is doing in real life. If you've ever felt tongue-tied backing a boat or utility trailer out of a driveway, this literally turns a frustrating task into something that's almost effortless. There's also trailer reverse guidance, which uses the truck's cameras and overlays to show you exactly where the trailer is and where it's going, giving you visual help while you steer or use the knob control. You get multiple camera angles, including split views or even bed or auxiliary trailer cameras if equipped, so you can see behind and beside the trailer as you inch backwards. But it doesn't work like magic. You still need to set the system up right the first time, like placing a measurement sticker on the trailer tongue or installing a sensor, so the truck knows its angle and dimensions. If you get that part wrong, it would behave unpredictably. Still, for many F-150 and Super Duty owners, Pro Trailer Backup Assist turns a stressful hookup into a walk-in-the-park job. Ford also adds a lot of hidden security features that you just wish you knew. Have you ever been locked inside your own Ford? Well, there's a hidden feature that solves this problem. One of the quiet tricks Ford hides in the alarm system settings is what's often called reduced guard or perimeter-only alarm mode. When you lock your Ford with this setting engaged, the alarm only watches the perimeter, like doors, hood, and hatch, and ignores interior motion sensors. That's perfect if you're leaving pets inside briefly, napping in the back of an Expedition, or carrying moving objects inside the cabin that would usually trigger the interior detectors when the alarm is armed. In normal, full guard mode, the system arms all sensors, perimeter and interior, so any movement inside the cab can set off the horn and lights. This is pretty great for theft deterrence, but it can be annoying if you want to stay inside with the doors locked for a minute or two. Reduced guard turns off the interior motion detectors temporarily while still keeping a watchful eye on the outside entry points. You can switch between these modes through touchscreen or instrument display when you turn off the truck. Many Ford owners appreciate this feature after getting false alarms in the middle of the night because interior sensors picked up harmless motion like a shifting bag or even a pet moving around, and they had no idea that their Ford had a perimeter-only alarm mode. One of my customers said his truck was setting off at odd hours until he found that perimeter mode, and it stopped every false alarm overnight once he switched it. But remember that reduced guard only lasts for that cycle. Next time you start the truck, it goes back to full guard unless you choose Ask on Exit, so it prompts you every time. If you use a Ford Maverick, there's another hidden and interesting feature that catches people off guard. This one surprises people. One of my favorite Ford clever little features that most Maverick owners don't realize is just how practical and flexible the flex bed system really is. But once you start using it, you'll wish you knew about it sooner. Ford designed the Maverick's bed to be way more than just a small truck box. You've got built-in slots and tie-downs that let you slide in boards or DIY dividers to section off cargo, secure gear, or even create your own little racks for bikes or lumber. That's huge when you're hauling mixed loads and don't want everything sliding around. The multi-position tailgate is another part of this clever system. You can lock the tailgate in half-open position to support long materials like plywood or kayaks without needing fancy racks, or lay it flat for a big work surface or tailgate hangout. But you want to know something interesting? The tie-downs even double as bottle openers if you're at a tailgate party. Here's the payoff. Where it gets really handy is the power options built right into the flex bed. There are pre-wired 12-volt outlets behind the covers in the bed, and in some trims you get 110-volt outlets too, so you can power lights, inflate gear, or charge tools without running a separate generator. Many Ford owners end up shocked to find out they can run an air pump or charge a laptop right from the bed. But just remember that the outlet has limits, and don't try to run heavy power tools without the right setup. Do you have a Ford Maverick? If yes, then try out this hidden feature. Another handy little Ford trick that most owners never find until someone points it out is the remote window roll down, also called the Global Open Windows feature. On many Fords, whether it's an F-150, Bronco, Fusion, Explorer, or other models equipped with this, you can use the key fob to roll the windows down before you even walk up to the truck. Just press and hold the unlock button on the fob for about 3 seconds, and the windows will start to roll down, letting hot air escape so it's cooler by the time you open the door. Do you hate stepping into your car on a hot day? Well, Ford decided to solve this problem. And where it's cold, you can close all the windows remotely by pressing and holding the lock button on the fob for a couple of seconds, and the system will even stop if it detects an obstruction like a hand or a pet in the way. One of my customers only found out about this by accident. They unlocked their 2024 F-150 only to watch the windows start rolling down and wondering how the heck that happened. Some even worry that it's a security issue if the fob got pushed accidentally in their pocket. But let me give you a heads up. Not every Ford comes with this feature enabled by default, especially on lower trims or certain years. You might need to turn it on in the vehicle settings or ask a mechanic like me to enable it for you. Aside from the windows, there's another hidden feature in Fords that would surprise you. And here's where it gets interesting. A lot of Ford owners don't even realize their cup holders are more than just holes in the console. Many Fords, including trucks like the F-150 and cars like the Mustang, use removable cup holder inserts or liners that can be popped out for cleaning, customizing, or fitting larger drinks. Those rubber or soft trim pieces sit inside the hard plastic cup holder and are made to come right out so you can dump spills, rinse crumbs, rinse sticky soda residue or mud off before it turns into a nasty buildup that attracts odor or pests. You'll find genuine Ford-branded inserts and trays made to match the interior, and they're easy to remove and reinstall. Mustang owners especially know this well because many have bought aftermarket cup holder inserts and liners made specifically for their year and model to protect against dirt and spills while adding a custom touch. Aside from cleaning, there's one hidden feature that can make you much more relaxed in your Ford, and you probably don't know about it. Now, this one is underrated. It's one of those Ford features that you might not have paid attention to until you actually use it. It's the Seat Max Recline feature, especially on certain F-150 Super Crew models with the optional seats. Ford engineered these front seats to fold almost completely flat, creating a near bed position right in the cab where you're parked. It's not just a regular recline. As the seat back tilts back, the bottom cushion rises up and joins with it, so you end up with a smooth, wide surface that's great for power naps on job sites, long road trips, or just catching a break between errands. These seats were designed to give real comfort beyond what a normal seat does. Many Ford owners wished they knew this feature existed long before they bought their truck. One customer told me how he actually pulled off at a rest stop on a cross-country move, folded the seat back, popped in a pillow, and got a decent snooze instead of looking for a motel. In fact, if Ford ever added window shades and kept the climate running while parked, the F-150 could almost become a tiny RV. And that almost isn't far off once you've tried out Max Reclining. But it's not so easy to get this hidden feature because it's optional and tied to certain trims like the King Ranch, Platinum, and Limited on recent F-150s. Ford pulled it off some model years due to supply issues, so not every truck has it. And finally, let's talk about one of the really handy towing features Ford offers that most owners don't even notice until they need it, and that's the trailer tire pressure monitoring system. When you're pulling a boat, camper, or trailer, having tire pressure shown right on your truck's display lets you see in real time what's happening with the trailer tires, not just the truck's own tires. This works with Ford's accessory TPMS kits that add sensors to each trailer wheel and a module that talks back to your Ford's infotainment or dash screen, so you can monitor both pressure and temperature of the trailer tires while you're driving. You'd be surprised how many people underestimate how dangerous underinflated trailer tires can be. Here's the part that actually matters. Many customers visit a mechanic with warped trailer rims, shredded tires, or even uneven wear because they towed a load for miles without ever knowing one tire was slowly losing pressure. This is where it turns into real damage. A low trailer tire builds heat fast, and by the time it finally lets go, it can rip up wiring, tear apart wheel wells, twist axles, and overload brakes in seconds when you least expect it.